we start actually today in a standing forward fold. So we'll spend plenty of time on the floor, but I want to make sure that we come to a nice relaxing fold. So at the top of the mat, with the feet separated to the edges of the mat, and the knees bent, and the head released. And now starting to really let go into the standing feet and into the low back and into the neck. And just letting the breath flow naturally, and maybe natural for you means at the beginning of your practice it starts to get deeper. But just watching the breath going in and out as you continue to focus on these 3 points. So again, letting go into the standing feet, feeling the surface of the feet meet the surface of the mat. And letting go into the low back, feeling a release here with the head below the back. And then feeling release, a letting go in the neck. And again, now the head is below the neck free of having to support the head at this time. So maybe you can let go of the head a little bit more and feel that hanging of the neck, that pulling down. Now let's, in silence, focus on the breath for a moment. And now focus on deepening the breath. As you're deepening the breath, concentrate on the expansion of the trunk as you inhale, from the bottom of the trunk to the top of the trunk. Focus on the letting go on the exhale, letting go into the feet, the low back, and the neck. Take a nice clearing breath in through the nose. Let go through the mouth, maybe even a nice sigh. Letting go of the tension of the day, the tension in the body, and the tension particularly in these areas of the body that we're focusing on. Now let's start to let the hands support the body a bit. So beating the hands to the mat or maybe to blocks and planting the palms. You can keep the knees bent. And then just start to rock forward in towards the toes, where now you put more weight into the hands, and then back towards the heels, where now there's much less weight on the hands, barely any at all. So shifting forward into the hands, so maybe feeling like we have 4 feet now, shifting back into the heels. And then just going back and forth a few more times and playing around with that. So maybe even lifting each foot and just staying on the heels, and then lowering the feet and then lifting the heels as you go forward. So continue to play around with this. Again, you could have hands to blocks. You could bend knees more deeply to make this possible. You could separate the feet more if needed. You might notice that the head has to shift a little bit so that you maintain some balance. So I see that when I shift weight into my heels, I lift the head, and that keeps me somewhat grounded. So check in and see, and we'll take about maybe 30 more seconds of exploration. Okay, so this is our 30 seconds here. We're going to start to rise. So let's now keep the feet planted, release the arms, release the head, and with the knees bent, start to unfold. Unroll the spine, slowly make your way up. Nice and easy. We were bent in the hip flexors for a little bit there. So coming upright, feeling more natural and yet different after we've been in that fold for quite some time. So let's start to move through the shoulders a little bit, circling. Circling arms, big circles or medium or small circles or maybe a combination. And let's actually go for 30 seconds with these different size circles here. Going in one direction. So now we're going to position the arms very specifically. So let's take the arms out to the sides, palms down. So we're going to, well, we were all in different circles. So how about this? Let's just reverse. Let's just reverse and then we'll go through the other exercise in a little bit. So whichever way we were going before, now go the opposite way. And we'll go for 30 seconds. You might notice that this direction is a little easier, a little bit more difficult than the other direction you were in. And that's our 30 seconds. So let's bring the arms down alongside the body and we'll step the feet so that they're hips distance apart. Let's just take some relaxing side bends for a moment. So we're going to start to bend to the right by first dropping the right ear towards the right shoulder. This left shoulder is really heavy. And then begin to bend the spine to the right. Let the right arm just hang loose as you feel space between the left ear and the left shoulder. And the right arm not controlling it in any way. We'll be here, let's say 30 seconds. And now we're going to reverse out of this. So start to unbend the spine, bringing it back to center, and then you'll bring the head back to center last. Now before we go to the other side, give the shoulders a little bit of motion, a little bit of a shake. And then just close the eyes and feel the difference between the two sides. Maybe it's very subtle, but somewhat noticeable. Now we're going to go to the other side. So we'll tilt the head to the left. Left ear gets closer to the left shoulder, right ear lifting up. And then we'll start to bend the spine to the left. Again, let the right shoulder get heavy. Let the left arm be heavy. And then let's be here for 30 seconds with deep breaths, consistently breathing so that the inhalation and the exhalation mirror each other. They're as long and deep as each other. The same quality and sound and feeling. And we'll start to reverse out. I sensed for myself that this side was much tenser than the other. So begin to unbend the spine and then bring the head to center. And remembering it's always good to discover what parts of us are uneven so we can work on those. Okay, so we've bended to the side. And we have our feet hips distance apart. The next inhalation, let's reach the arms upwards, engage the thighs, take the arms so that the palms face each other. Pull the pelvis in. Now find a little bit of a back bend. Squeeze the glutes first and start to take the arms back. So for our low back, when we're thinking about it and we want to relieve tension there, it's really important to activate it and stretch it equally rather than just stretch. So you want these muscles to be equally strong and flexible. Maybe you can send the arms back a little bit more. And then we'll bring the back to center, take the arms out to the sides, exhale, fold forward over the legs. Take 5 deep breaths here in this forward fold. Now while you're here, you have the hands hopefully on something to support you. Start to just sway the tailbone side to side. So you might even bend a knee as you sway the hips to one direction and then the other. You might be able to do this with straight legs, just kind of feeling like you're shimmying a little bit in the hips, side to side. A little adjustment here, a little adjustment there. And then we're going to rise back up to standing. So we can rise halfway first with the flat back, come all the way up, reach the arms up, and then exhale. Let's take the left foot to the back of the mat and come into a warrior posture with the back heel pressed down, the right knee lunging. And we're going to incorporate in this some work with the shoulders because today we're working partly with the neck. So it's important to get the surrounding areas worked on as well. So while we're in this lunge, we're going to shift the tops of the hands to face each other. And then we'll be taking circles like this. So taking the arms forward with tops of hands facing each other, then take them back, but keep the shoulders rotated this way. Reach the arms upwards, tops of hands touch, bring them forward. Let's go through once again. This is 3 times. I have 4. Nice and slow, 5. And so we'll take 6 total. Now we're going to move in the opposite direction. So you start to take the arms up and behind. It's actually quite difficult. Take the palms forward and back. And we're going to continue. So we have, what, a couple more or so? And then we're going to just release the arms after those 6. Release the arms completely and just let them float as you sink into this lunge. So you might actually feel like energy underneath the arm and a sense of lightness in the arms. So really, if you kind of relax the arms completely without trying to make them heavy, you might sense that they're actually kind of risen up a little bit. Now we'll just take 2 more deep breaths. And then let's bring the hands forward around the right foot. Step the left foot forward. Come into your fold for a little bit. It's just about as active as we'll get today. Now we'll come up halfway, lengthen the spine, maybe straighten the legs, and then rise all the way up to standing. Reach the arms upwards, bring the palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. And let's step the right foot to the back of the mat, setting up for our warrior. Letter A, plant the heel. Pull the pelvis in. Release the arms alongside the body. Inhale, reach them up. Turn the tops of the hands to face each other. So we're going through a lot of these today, and we'll benefit from that. And then let's go ahead and bring the hands forward, down, and up. 5 more in this direction. Focusing on both the lunge and these big circles. Okay, once you've gone through 6, you're going to go in the other direction, keeping the tops of the hands facing each other and letting them touch. Breathing with emotion. Sounds like I said breathing with emotion, but I said breathing with the motion. So just to clarify that, now we'll go ahead and release the arms down once you've gone through those 6 total, and just let the arms float as you sink into the lunge. All that motion with the arms and standing in the feet in this way requires a little extra effort to be here. Okay, now we'll go ahead and take the hands down around the left foot, step the right foot up. Separate the feet apart though, so that we're going to come back into that wide leg forward fold. And then again, find the hands as we had before. Find the hands so that they can plant fully. So if you're dealing with a lot of tightness, maybe use the blocks to elevate like this, or bend the knees if you have a lot of tightness there. Now we're going to kind of play again with this fold here. So we'll start to go back into the feet, lift the toes, go forward into the toes, lift the heels. Maybe you can check in with the position of the head and see maybe you feel more secure. You can release the head completely, even as you're shifting the feet. And if not, then just continue to utilize the head for balance. I'm going to say about 30 more seconds in this fold. And in that 30 seconds, you can keep moving or you can get more still. So from here, we're going to come into a squat. So let's begin to lower the hips down. Now, if you would like to sit on blocks, you have blocks around, feel free to sit right on top and come into a supported squat. So you don't have to work, but if you'd like to work, then, feel free to just go as low as you can and keep the feet planted. And then we want to lift the heart. Want to be able to unround the shoulders. So here you'll see they're rounding. Go ahead and squeeze shoulders back. Lift the heart. And we'll be here for a minute. So if you're in an unsupported squat, make sure you can be in some position where you can be there for a little length of time. Focusing fully on the breath. Focusing on relaxing into this posture. A minute isn't really that long for a squat. A squat could be held much longer than a minute, especially if it's supported. So we are here at 1 minute mark. Let's go ahead and come back to standing before we come back to sitting on the mat, or that's actually the first time we'll be sitting. But we're going to go ahead and lift the hips, bend the knees, release the arms and the head, and then begin to unfold, unroll the spine as we had before. And then bringing hands to hips and stepping the feet so that they're hips distance apart. So let's work a little bit more on the feet. So we're going to kind of put a little pressure into them, activate them, work through the entire foot. So feet are hips distance apart. And this is something that is done, I learned, it's very simple, but learned for like a dance class I took back in college, right? Very simple. Hands to hips. Shift weight over to the left foot. Now lift the right heel and you feel the ball of the foot on the mat. Let's just take another breath here. So we're going to go slow at first. And then we're going to point the foot. So lift the whole foot and just have the tippy toe on the mat. And then press the ball of the foot down and press the heel. Shift over to the right foot. Lift the left heel, the rest of the foot. Press down into the ball of the foot. It's a nice stretch here. And then we'll stretch the top of the foot by lifting the whole foot but the tippy toe of that big toe. And requiring a little balancing on our part. Press the ball of the foot down, then the heel. Now we're going to go quicker. So shift to the left foot. Lift right heel, right foot, plant the ball, plant the heel. Shift over, lift left foot to the ball, to the tippy toe, back to the ball, into the heel. And just shift back and forth a few more times. Shifting, lifting, lifting, setting down, down, shifting, lifting, lifting, setting down, down, shifting, lifting, lifting, down, down, shift, lift, lift, down, down, shift, lift, lift, down, down. Let's just go about 10 more seconds. Okay, so we'll finish with the left, and then we'll just go into just a little bit of balancing for wherever you want to take it, as difficult as you want to make it for your body. So we'll start with hands to hips and begin to just close the eyes first and feel the weight pull into the feet. Notice the toes. Just a little weight there, barely any at all. So you could lift the toes and you can sense now the ball and the heel of each foot. Setting the toes down without shifting weight forward. Feeling the ball of each foot, noticing the arch, noticing the heel. Now begin to shift the weight over to the left foot. Feel the whole foot planted and that just the touch of the tippy of the toes, not the tippy toe. Lift the right knee and now begin to pull the belly in and hold the right knee with the right hand. So if you want to go a little further and you know a more challenging position here, you can find your way there. About 3 more breaths. This is really activating the hip flexor too, so we can stretch that out and help the low back, because those two are really related. And release the foot, hand to hip. Feet are planted. Shift over to the right foot when you're ready, feeling that foot completely supporting the rest of the body, and then lifting the left knee up, holding the left knee. Breathing deeply. It helps to find a spot in front of you that isn't moving. Just lock your vision there. About 2 more breaths. And let's release the foot. Okay, so finding top of the mat, if you shift it away, feet hips distance apart. Take a deep breath in and out. And then on the next inhale, reach the arms upwards. Find that back bend again. So engage the thighs, engage the glutes, lift the heart, take the arms back. Next exhale, begin to fold forward. Take the arms out to the sides, release down. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen the spine. Exhale, release, fold here for 5 deep breaths. Now if you want, maybe stand on top of the hands. So taking the toes to the wrists, even if the knees have to bend here. And then you'll feel a really nice pull on the shoulders, some deep stretching action in the calves. Another deep breath. And now we're going to add 3 more deep breaths, because I felt right there a release. And so it's good to linger in that release. And now we'll start to let the hands go. We have the feet on the mat. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Bring that foot far back, and then bring the left knee down. We're going to come into a crescent moon, so we have the right knee over the right ankle. Lifting the trunk, take the hands behind the back first. Interlace the fingers. Squeeze the shoulders back. Look upwards. And release the arms. Now let's just continue to fold into or sink into this right knee. Feel the knees really separate. You can have hands to the thigh or the knee. And now we're going to bring hands to the inside of the foot. We'll come into a dragon, step that right foot out to the right, bring the hands down. And let's first work on opening the hip joint here. So take the knee, right knee, over to the right. You could see the foot. Plant the foot. Take the knee over to the right. Plant the foot once again. And then keeping the foot planted. When you're ready, start to release into this. So maybe you can let the head go. Maybe you can bend the elbows. Maybe you can come down to the forearms. We'll be here for 30 seconds. Deep breaths, nice and slow, perfectly paced so that they match each other. Smooth and controlled airflow. That's our 30 seconds. We're going to make it a minute. So a few more deep breaths. Okay, so we'll start to press into the hands to straighten the arms. You know, let's see if we can come into a squat, and so we're going to roll over the back toes and then step that left foot forward and then just sink right in. Now we're just going to be here for 3 deep breaths. So you won't need to find a seat on anything. Just notice how this feels. And then we'll lower the hands down, lift the hips, heel toe them closer together so they're hips distance, and then step the right foot back. Come down to the knee, really separating the knees, and again, keeping left knee over left ankle. And then when you're ready, rise. Let's start again by taking hands behind, interlacing fingers, opening the chest, letting the head come back. Breathing deeply here so you can feel the tightness of the chest as you inhale and the release of the chest as you exhale. And then release the arms and bring them to that left thigh. And just focus on sinking into the left knee. Okay, we'll bring hands down to the inside of the left foot, heel toe the left foot to the edge of the mat, plant the palms. This is where we'll open the knee to the left, see the foot, plant the foot. So about 3 times. And then you can keep the foot planted, keep separating the knees, but keep left knee over ankle. And then begin to see if you could find a deeper expression where you can let go a bit, maybe in the head, maybe the elbows, maybe the hands come forward a little bit so you can get less pressure on the hands and lower the trunk. It's about 45 more seconds of full, deep, conscious breathing. Okay, let's come back into our squat. So roll over the back toes, step the right foot up to this edge of the mat, lower the hips, sink in. 3 deep breaths. Okay, let's bring the hands down, lift the hips, heel toe the feet closer together, step the feet to the back of the mat, plant the palms, and we're going to actually come into a table posture for a moment. Let's take a few cat-cows here to loosen up in the low back. So inhale, belly relaxes, head lifts, tailbone lifts. Exhale, belly engages, tailbone and head shift down. Scoop the belly up into the back, and then inhale, release. Exhale, continue. Take this at your pace. Now we're going to come to neutral spine. And then on the exhale, take the head and the hips to the left. On the inhale, center. And then over to the right. We can do that all in the inhale. Exhale, left. Inhale, right. Exhale, left. Inhale, right. Come to center, and then we'll switch so that we inhale to the right. Exhale. Actually, we were doing that before, so actually come to center, and then we're going to exhale to the right. So it's important to be balanced here. Inhale to the left. Exhaling right. Inhaling left. Exhale right. Inhale left. One more time to the right. And then come to center. Next, inhale, lift the right arm up, and let's separate the knees actually. And then inhale the right arm up, move the right wrist around. Exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left shoulder, come down to the right shoulder, right side of the face. Straighten the right arm, pull that right shoulder back. Deep breaths. Left palm down, inhale, right arm up. Nice and quick but effective. Thread the needle, right hand down. Inhale, left arm up. Move the wrist. Exhale, thread through. Left side of the face, left shoulder to the mat. Straighten the arm. Pull the left shoulder back. Press into the right palm. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale the hand down. Okay, let's find a cobra before we come to seated now. So bring the forearms down and then start to walk the knees back until you come down to the hips. We're going to bring the forehead down and tuck the elbows in towards the waist. Bring the shoulders down away from the ears. Give some length to the neck, taking the forehead so that it's a little further forward on the mat. Now we're going to activate the legs. So feel like you're pushing the tops of the feet to the mat, engaging the thighs. Begin to engage the glutes. Now begin to lift the heart as you send the hands forward a little bit, and then begin to lift the head. Keep the shoulders down. Keep the low body active. Feel the low back very active. 3 more breaths. Straightening the arms is not necessary and probably quite difficult. You can keep them bent. 1 more breath. Exhale, lower down and press up to child's posture. So separating the knees, lowering the head, lowering the hips. Let's clear the breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. And we're going to rise upwards, come to seated. Before we go too far, I want to get to the neck so that I don't miss it. And then maybe we'll get to it a little bit more too if we can. So let's start with ankles crossed, sitting up nice and tall. And then we can just fold the hands into each other and sit up upright, nice tall spine. We're going to start with chin tucks. That's really important. So take the chin forward and then tuck the chin in towards the neck. Chin forward and then in. Forward, in. Let's take a few more. Doing this a bunch of times a day will help alleviate built up neck issues. So they say, And because I do so much on my neck, when I go to the chiropractor, my neck is never an issue anymore. So that's, I think, a good testament to some of this. So now we'll pull the chin in gently, so it's just in a little bit, not too much. Now we'll turn the head a bunch of times, left and right. Not necessarily at the pace of the breath. Okay, then we'll bring the head to center. And then just draw the chin down, but see if you can keep the neck pretty long. So drop the chin, and it's kind of like you're lowering it, but bringing it in towards the neck. Now bring the head to center and take the head back. And bring the head to center. Now we'll take the right ear upwards towards the sky. Roll the right shoulder a few times. Settle the shoulder down. Keep the head tilted. Lower the chin down. So when you're rolling the chin forward, you'll feel now the sensation kind of coming forward into the base of the neck and the upper back where they meet. Notice if you're very tight there. And we'll go ahead and take the head, the chin upward. You're going to feel that shift forward into the front of the neck, up to the chin, the jaw. Lower the chin to neutral. Bring the head back to center. Now move the head a little bit, side to side, left and right. Sometimes it feels tighter before it feels looser. Now we'll find center and then go ahead and lift the left ear up. Roll the left shoulder around. Settle it down. Soften the facial expression, the muscles in the face and the jaw. Now we'll lower the chin, keep the tilt. Lift the chin. Bring the chin back to center and then the head back to center. Now we're going to move the head around, just kind of freestyling it, taking the head side to side, maybe dropping the head and shaking things out. And that's where we'll meet. We'll just meet with the head just hanging down as if you were sitting upright and falling asleep. And then bring the head back to center. Cross the wrists. So this is our last thing for the neck. Cross the wrists and bring the fingers to right above the collarbone, pressing into these long neck muscles that wrap up behind the ear. And putting pressure there, go ahead and lift the chin. These muscles get really tight when we're sending the chin forward, looking at computer screens. So opening this muscle. And we'll bring the head back to center. A little bit of motion. Let's go ahead and now work with the stretching the low back and working on the feet at the same time. So I think we can do that. We're going to take the left foot forward and bring the right foot into the left thigh. Next inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, fold and find the foot. So if you have to bend the knee to get there, that's fine, but we want to find the foot. Keep the toes facing the sky. So we're going to create a little resistance here. Push the foot into the hands and the hands back into the foot, and then relax that. And again, pushing in and relaxing, pushing in and relaxing. Now, let yourself fold a little bit more. And then point the foot. Point the foot. See, even if the foot is, or the knee is bent, you could still point and work with this. So what we're going to do is push, take the left hand on top of the foot, and then we're going to push the foot into the hand again with the foot pointed this time, and then relax the foot. Push the foot and the hand into each other, relax the foot, pushing in and relaxing, folding here. Now your choice, however you want to fold, find your way to either a forward fold with a more extension in the back with leg straight or leg bent. Maybe rounding in the back. Maybe you release the hold on the foot or the leg. Feeling on the inhalation, expansion and fullness. On the exhalation, full emptiness. Another deep breath. And we'll rise, switch legs, right leg extended, left foot to right thigh. Flex the right foot, inhale, arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, find the foot. And then we're going to push the foot into the hands back into the foot 3 times. And then letting the trunk drop a little bit after that. I should have mentioned, if we have a lot of tightness, another alternative is to take this right leg out to the right, have like a half V formation. Now we're going to point the foot and bring the hand, right hand on top of the right pointed foot, push the foot into the hand back into the foot, and then release. Go through this 2 more times. And then once you've completed that, start to relax into this, even if you're going to be more active with a long spine. Being able to relax in, feeling the fullness on the inhalation, the fullness of the meaning of your practice even. Take it as deep as you want. Maybe it just stays the fullness of the breath, or the fullness of the lungs, or the fullness of what yoga means to you. The fullness and richness of life. And then on the exhale, the full release, the complete letting go, the fullness and the emptiness. Couple more deep breaths. And we're going to start to rise. And we're going to find a twist here. Oh, the low back. Really felt that one. Let's plant the right foot. Actually, I'd like to tuck my left foot under the right hip, so see if that works better for you. And then right foot plants. Start to turn to the right, right hand plants, fingers face back. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, left elbow outside of the knee. Get tall and then twist. Turning to the right. And we'll come back to center, switch legs. Left foot plants, left hand behind. Right arm lifts. Draw the right elbow outside of the left leg. Get tall, turn. And we'll come to center. So we're going to get ready to lie down. Let's go all the way down to the back. You can bring the knees into the chest a bit and rock side to side. We're going to find one bridge posture before. So let's plant the feet. Walk the shoulders back. Keep the feet close to the bottom. Pull the pelvis in, then lift the hips up. And find your variation. Maybe fingers interlace, maybe elbows push down, forearms up. Maybe hands hold the ankles. Another deep breath. And release, lower. Bring the knees into the chest, give them a squeeze, lift the head. And we'll lower the head, bring the arms to a T, bring the knees to the right, head turns to the left. Bring the knees back to center, over to the left, head turns to the right. You bring the knees back to center. Plant the feet. We're just going to come into reclining pigeon and then we'll be resting. So right ankle on top of left thigh. Draw the left leg in. Hold it in. Really pull it in. We're going to take 5 deep breaths. Flex the right foot. And we'll switch legs. Left foot down, right foot down. Left ankle on top of right thigh. Flex the left foot and pull the right leg in, holding it with the hands. And we'll release. Now we'll find Shavasana. See if you'd like to take it with legs straightened, or if you'd like today, maybe bring the soles of the feet together. I'm going to go there, and then take the arms either out and the palms facing upwards, or you can even bring hand to heart and hand to belly. Whether you have hands to trunk or you have hands resting with palms faced up, let's focus now for a moment on realizing that we have spent this hour connecting to ourselves. You know, some in maybe physical ways, some in more subtle ways. And just now allowing ourselves to rest in that connection and to let go into it. Now we're still resting. See if you can relax the face just a little bit more. Relax the jaw, relax the cheeks, the nose, the eyes, relax the forehead and the lips and the chin. Relax the ears and the scalp. Relax the neck, shoulders, arms, hands, fingers. Relax the chest, the back, the midsection, the low back, the hips. Relax the thighs, the knees, the calves, ankles, the feet, the toes. Resting just for a moment more in a deeper and deeper state of relaxation. Again, relaxing through the head, the neck, the shoulders, the arms, the hands. Relaxing through the chest, the back, the hips, the legs, the ankles and feet. And now relaxing particularly into the neck, the low back, and the feet. Letting those areas light up in your mind. The neck, the low back, and the feet. Sense their connection to each other. Sensing the connection between the neck, the low back and the feet, low back and the neck. And now we're going to start to slowly wake ourselves from this state by breathing into those spaces, particularly into the feet, the low back and the neck. Deepening the breath and keeping those areas in your mind. Now we're going to be resting on one side. So if you'd like, you can just simply shift over to the side, or if it feels better to bring the knees in first to the chest and then shift over, whatever feels right. You might move the hands and the feet. Maybe even on the side you find some length in the body, or if you'd like to get back to the back and find some length, whatever feels good to slowly wake this body up, wake the mind back up. And then when you're ready, finding your way to seated to seal this practice. Once you're in seated, palms together. Really embracing the calmness of the body and the mind. And as a result, the emotions. Calm and open. Let's seal this practice with the sound of Om, breathing in. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.